Today we're going to talk about something kind of wild. How ancient philosophy is actually shaping the future of search. Yeah, you heard that right. We're going from just words on a page to, well, the actual worlds those words describe.
So let's just get right to it. It sounds like a strange question, doesn't it? I mean, what on earth could philosophy teach us about SEO? You're thinking about dusty old books versus cutting-edge algorithms. Well, it turns out the answer is pretty much everything.
All right, so to really get how these two things connect, we've got to look at the biggest shift happening in search right now. It's not just about finding websites anymore. Nope, we're on a quest for actual meaning. You see, we're in the middle of this huge evolution. For the longest time, search engines were basically like a librarian who could only look at the titles on the spines of books. You'd ask for something and they'd just match the words. But now, we're building a librarian that's actually read all the books and understands what's inside them.
And this is the key difference. On one side, you have the old way, syntax. That's just about words. You type apple, it looks for the string of letters A-P-P-L-E. Simple. But on the other side, you have semantics. That's about concepts. The search engine is trying to figure out what you mean. Are you talking about Apple, the tech giant, an apple you eat? Or heck, even the Big Apple, New York City? It's a massive leap, right? From just matching words to actually understanding ideas.
Okay, so how in the world do they do that? How does a machine make that jump from simple words to complex meaning? Well, the answer, and you might not believe this, comes from a really old idea in philosophy called the principle of identity.
I mean, think about that for a second. It's kind of mind-blowing. The solution to one of the biggest challenges in modern computer science, it wasn't hiding in some coding manual. It was sitting right there in a philosophy book.
All right, I know, that sounds super academic and complicated. Just hang with me for a second, because the idea behind it is actually really simple and incredibly powerful. So let's just break down what this identity sentence thing really means.
Okay, here's a classic example. Back in the day, people would look up and see this really bright star in the morning sky. They called it the morning star. Then, at night, they'd see a bright star in the evening sky and call it the evening star. Now, those are two totally different names, right? But they weren't two different stars. Turns out both of those names were pointing to the very same thing, the planet Venus. So when you say the morning star is the evening star, that's a true statement. Why? Because two different labels referred to one single object in the real world. And that right there is the light bulb moment. This ancient philosophical problem is exactly the same challenge that modern search engines are dealing with every single day. They're constantly trying to figure out if all the different words and phrases people use, like Big Apple and NYC, are just different labels for the same real thing. Getting rid of that confusion, that ambiguity, that is the whole game. Okay, so the theory is cool, I get it, but what does this mean for us? People who are actually making stuff for the web. How do we take this big philosophical idea and turn it into something practical? Well, it comes down to a simple three-step process. First, you identify your entities. These are the real-world things in your content, a person, a place, an idea, whatever. Pinpoint them. Step 2, map their relationships. Don't just mention Steve Jobs and Apple in the same sentence. Explicitly say that Steve Jobs co-founded Apple. Connect the dots for the machine. And finally, step 3, build context. You do this with super clear, precise descriptions that leave no doubt about what you're talking about. The goal is to wipe out any possible confusion.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Once you start creating content this way, you have a realization. You're not just writing for a human audience anymore. You're actually writing for two audiences at once.
And that's the new goal, really. You have to create content that works for both humans and for algorithms. It needs to be engaging and readable for a person, but also so clear and structured that a machine can understand it without any guesswork. It's like telling a great story that's also perfectly annotated for a robot.
So, what does this mean for your work? Here are the core tasks. Number 1, be super clear about the entities you're talking about, the things. Number 2, describe those things with total precision, no vague language. And number 3, show the relationships between them. Don't make people or algorithms guess how things are connected. Just spell it out. Your job is to be the ultimate clarifier. Because at the end of the day, that's what both of your audiences are looking for. Your human reader wants clarity, and the algorithm, it wants the exact same thing, clarity, with zero ambiguity. When you focus on creating one single, clear version of the truth, you're giving both of them exactly what they need.
So I want to leave you with a question to think about. Look at the content you create. Are you just splashing words on a page and hoping for the best? Just trying to match keywords? Or are you actually describing the world? Are you building a clear, accurate picture for both people and machines to understand? Because that small shift in thinking, well, that changes everything.